Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today, let's talk about learning how to dream again. I have always been a huge dreamer, always like thinking crazy, awesome dreams and things like that. In fact, the other day, my husband and I were talking and I mentioned how me having this dream mindset, I think actually got me through my teenage years. I would be depressed and not feeling good. I grew up in a house where my bedroom didn't have a door. It was up in in the second floor, and the roof is lower. And anyways, I didn't have a door. I would hang a sheet or a piece of fabric of some sort with tacks to give myself some privacy in this like little shoebox room. Anyway, my dreams got me through my hard times, my depression, my I had so little confidence back then. And all my dreams have always been the fuel to push me forward. Because when we have, a focal point, when there's hope, when there's desire, when you know where you want to go, or like have this idea at least, it can guide you in that direction. Now, did all my dreams come true? No. But my world would look really unfocused because I had a lot of different things that didn't actually line up together. And I was a teenager, so my dreams changed throughout the years. Those dreams though, my childhood, my teenage, my early 20s, my mid 20s, all my dreams have helped me move forward and in a really beautiful way. However, over these past few years, I haven't been focusing so much on my dreams as I used to. I used to be like very goal oriented. I really always had something. And then I actually moved to my dream location on the coast by the ocean. It's so beautiful. And I kind of just got into my own little world. And that's beautiful to be at that place. And I almost thought like, oh, I can't dream anymore because I am living my dream. But the thing is, we can always have more aspirations. We can have more goals. We can have more things to focus on. And now that I look back, my dreams have kind of been put on hold too because the world was a different place these past few years. We've experienced different things. And now we're reemerging and the world looks different. So before the world went a little cray-cray, I had big dreams of like getting on the stage and speaking and different things. And then traveling became an issue. And I'm like, do I even want to travel for work and things like that? So I had like, my dreams kind of got put on hold because I'm like, what's the world looking like? What can I do? And things. So maybe you can relate. Have your dreams been put on hold these past few years? Or maybe your life just got really hectic and your dreams have been kind of put on the back burner. Or maybe you're just struggling to even think about something positive and different in your life right now. But I'm here to tell you that you can learn to dream again. I really find that dreaming is the most beautiful thing in the world. Because like I said, it's part of what saved my life. There's so many things, but that was one of the early things in my life that has helped me get through the hard times. Because when you focus on something, in the future that's bright and positive, it gives you hope right now. And that's not, neglecting what's happening now, but it is, giving you hope for the future. So how do you learn to dream again? Well, a big one is just realizing what you might have put on the back burner, like just sit quietly. Really, self-love is allowing yourself to get to know yourself better, and a part of it is slowing down. Well, I personally believe every aspect of our lives really comes down to just slowing down and pausing for a second. We can be on like autopilot or overdrive. Like, I need to do this. I need to get the kids here. I need to do, right? And just go. And when we're in that mode, we're not thinking about our dreams. we're not thinking about anything but our to-do list and going and surviving. And that is, that's what happens in life. But it's slowing down enough to realize that maybe you did put dreams on hold. You landed on this podcast for a reason. This episode spoke to you on some level. So maybe you're like, yeah, I have dreams, but I can't remember what they are, or I just kind of put them on the back burner. And I know personally for me, it was just last year I started setting goals in big, beautiful ways. And some of them have come true, and it's just so beautiful. So I'll share those in a minute. But let's get back to, what do you do when you're like, okay, let's figure out what dreams you have, kind of thing. Again, like, let's start from the beginning. And it's sitting down and just thinking about, what were your dreams, a few years ago, or before life got, kind of got in the way in a sense. It kind of took over your life and your dreams, and like life just kind of spiraled and your dreams kind of fell to the wayside. Think about those. Now, you can write those down. Actually, I encourage you to write those down, because writing things down is really good. It gets on paper, or if you, like to use technology and type it out, by all means. I'm old school, old fashioned, where I like to write things out because it just feels really physical. I love it. Anyway, that's me. Do what feels good to you. So it's writing it down. Now here's the fun thing though. Some of those dreams might not line up to who you are anymore. You might have changed in those years, and that is okay. It is okay to let dreams go. And then it's thinking about if anything was possible. One of my mentors, and actually a lot of people use this saying, is if I waved a magic wand at your life, like, what would your life look like? Start daydreaming. You can take a moment to just look out the window, have a cup of coffee or tea, and just sit with yourself and your thoughts and just dream what is possible. And then you can just jot down some of those things. What would you love to have your life look like if anything was possible? If fear didn't exist and money wasn't an issue, what would be things that you would love to have? And just opening up those thoughts, the possibilities of something different, something exciting, something new, can really give you that energy to move forward towards that beautiful life of yours. Not that I'm saying your life isn't beautiful now. It's sitting in gratitude for what you have. But anyways, we're talking about dreaming today. So let's dream. Daydream. I remember as a kid, because I lived out in the country in this little town, especially in the winter months, there was nothing to do unless you wanted to freeze your butt out in the snow. I would sit out my bedroom window and just daydream for hours and hours. I'm not saying you need to daydream for hours and hours, but allow yourself to sit there. And if you only have so much time, set a timer, like 5-10 minutes, just be. I always just find pockets of time that I just or maybe you love a good bubble bath and just play some beautiful music and just dream about what your life could look like if anything was possible. I'm waving that magic wand and anything's possible. Sit with that. Jot down things that came to you. Now, I'm not saying that everything needs to happen, but just jot it down after and see which direction you think you want to go. Or maybe there's 5,000 different directions you want to go. Okay, maybe not 5,000, but maybe there's a lot. Write it all down. It's okay. This is just fun brainstorming. It's dreaming. Dreaming should be fun and exciting. You don't have to think about how is that going to happen. You don't have to have that logicalness in your brain right now. Just be open to the awesomeness of the world and things and possibilities right now. Dream big. The sky is the limit. I remember when I was living in Ontario and I wanted to live by water, And I didn't have, like, I was keeping myself stuck thinking, different thoughts and beliefs. But thankfully, I kept dreaming about living by water and things like that. So try your best to, get out of your head and into your heart when you're dreaming. Because we're not talking about goal setting here yet. We're just talking about dreaming. About anything that lights you up, gets you excited. You're like, that would be awesome. Just think about that for now. I want to share something with you when I was talking about writing things down. This past year, I started, goal setting again. I was like, okay, I kind of felt like I was floating and had not a great direction. And actually, I think I did it the year before too, but I really got serious about it this year. Now, I was really excited. I had my day timer and it has, goal setting and different things. So I got really excited and I started planning in November and probably finalized things in December. And I have this piece of paper on my wall in my office. I call it my wonderful life, and it's what my goals are, my rituals and things like that. I got really excited. And then after Christmas, I didn't know it at the time, but I had candida overgrowth in my gut. And it just really knocked me out because I was eating a lot of sugar and foods that weren't great for my gut at the time. Or actually at any time, really. Anyway, if I'm being honest. So I started January feeling like garbage. And those goals just kind of sat there. But the cool thing is I wrote them down. And in the book that I have, it has about 50 goals. And I was just writing things down, before the year started. And even though I didn't put a lot of energy and focus on my goals, I did set the intention for them. And some of them came true. And some of them were not even in my control. I, wanted family to visit, my grandma, my sister, my parents. And I had my grandma, my sister, and my mom visit. Those weren't in my control, but those are things that I'm like, yeah, that would be awesome if this happened this year. I didn't know if they would. So, because, my grandma's in her 90s and my mom doesn't really like to travel. So it was one of those things that was really great that I could show my family where we live now and just, share my experience of like what I love here about it. And then also get to see them because I miss them so much. So it was really cool. But I wrote it down. So writing things down. It doesn't matter if you can't see how it's going to get done, or even if there's things out of your control that you're like, well, because we can't control what other people do. We can't. As much as we might want to, we can't. It's about doing what we can control. We can't control the weather. We can't control other people's actions, how they perceive us, or how, whatever, right? But we can do things on our end. So yeah, write things down. That is a big, big thing. Now, if you're like, you have some dreams that you're like, I would really like this to happen this year, I would just suggest picking no more than 3. And this might seem really hard to just get down to 3. It doesn't mean that those other things can't happen. But if you try to go too much, and I'm speaking from experience, because I am that person that I'm like, I want to do it all right now, like make it happen. It doesn't mean they have to be forgotten, but pick the 3 that really light you up, that you're like, oh man, this would be like the most amazing thing. Or something that maybe you're not ready to go that far yet. Maybe you're like, okay, I could see how this might work out in my life. Like maybe you need something that feels a little bit more reachable, and that's okay too. So pick 3, write them down, or, type it out on, a doc, somewhere, make it happen. So I would put the goal at the top, and then you can write 3 things below it. Simple steps that you can take to get there. Now, I know I've shared this example before, but I'm sharing it again because it's something that has happened, the past few years that I can really remember that was like, bam. It just happened and it was awesome. So I'm going to share about like the 3 steps I did when we were like, we're moving. It was still like kind of a dream. We made a decision that we're like, yeah, let's move to BC. But we're like, at that point, we didn't honestly know if it was possible. Like at that point, it was still a dream, a fantasy. And we didn't really see how anything was going to work out. I'm like, okay, if we're going to do this, what are 3 things I can start doing? And the first one was reach out to our realtor and ask her what we need to do. Like, what is the options? Like, how do we do this? And then another one was figure out housing in the area that we wanted to look at in BC. And then the third was start decluttering our house. And honestly, we never really got to 3 until like way later, because reaching out to my realtor just kind of set everything out in motion. And it actually took care of number 2, because then she helped us find somebody that was in BC locally where we wanted to move. And it just kind of it was just like one person. Sometimes just connecting, doing that one step that really catapults everything else in a direction. Now, was it easy? Heck no. But once we got that ball moving, things just kept moving forward. And there was a lot of sweat and tears because, we did have a lot of clutter because, the kids were young. And anyways, so it was good times. But anyways, write it down. 3 little steps. And then if those steps you've accomplished those steps, you can think about like, okay, where I'm at and what are 3 more steps I can take. Sometimes though, it's all that. It's just asking one person for support and then moving forward. Because when we write things down, we're signaling that we're serious about this. Like, we are going to do something about this dream. And it just making a commitment to your dream and then turning it into like a goal instead of a dream is really, really beautiful. And just acknowledging, that's what you want to do. And I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of fear sometimes when you have big dreams. And we kept our dreams to ourselves. Like, we did mention that we wanted to move to BC, and it wasn't well received from family. There's a lot of like, you can't do that. That's impossible. Like, there's a lot of non-support going on there. So once we're like, whoa, we can't share our dreams right now until we get to a place. Also, a lot of the time when we have fear, we can portray our fears onto others and it comes back to us. Like, we can see it through other people. So if you're having fears and doubts, talk with people that you trust will support you. And if you have a lot of fear and things, it's not always great to talk to people that will like not have your back. Now, if something is in your gut saying like, oh, this doesn't feel right, definitely reach out to people and be like, but it's about talking to people that you trust and that can be supportive. And not everybody in our lives can be supportive. But it is good to share things because like maybe you are going on a direction that you're like, oh, maybe, sometimes we have tunnel vision and we go down things that might not make sense. And then we need somebody that's like, oh, have you thought of this? But it has to come from a place of love. So I hope this helps you learn to dream again. Slow down, smell those roses. Or I guess because, when this is coming out, it's not going to be very flowery outside. Take some time to just pause. You remember as a kid, maybe you didn't do this, but I know I did, and I still do it today when there are clouds in the sky. In our summers, we don't have a lot of clouds in the sky. But I'd lay down on the grass and just look at different shapes in the sky that the clouds form, or look up at the stars. Anything is possible when you stop telling yourself it isn't. So dream big. Let your dreams just flow. See what pops up. Write it down. And then see where you want to go. But it is okay to dream. Even if your world might seem crazy at times and you're just not sure which way's up. Dreaming can help us get through the hard times. You are allowed to dream. Dream big. The possibilities are endless. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. And if you love what you heard here and you'd love to be a part of my community, please go to my website at jodymisiak.com and, become part of our community where I'll send emails on occasion. It's usually a monthly newsletter. Sorry, Alex. A monthly news note. And sometimes I do weekly. I don't go crazy on the emails. I'm not in your inbox every single day of the year. And if and then this way you get updates and you get to be a part of an amazing community. When you join, there's a free gift as well. So jump over to my website and become a part of the loving community because you never have to go through life alone. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.